And we see that Yeon Chungwoon is also doing cultivation, and a yellow-colored aura is coming out of his hands, and when he opens his eyes he is surprised, and says, "Master, what is this?" And he is looking at his hands and thinking, "It feels as if chi is melting into my body, becoming my blood and flesh." And that man is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "It's called Earth Essence. The skill is called the Earth Essence Technique. This martial art really matches its name." And Yeon Chungwoon becomes a little happy, and says, "I felt like something solid was being established at the core of my body." The man listening to Yeon Chungwoon says, "Oh? To grasp the essence of the martial art in one go, you truly are a talented person with an open mind." And he is thinking that, "I've been observing you for a few days. Now I understand why Sanfeng has been laying such a solid foundation." And Yeon Chungwoon suddenly looks in front, and he gets very surprised, and says, "Sanfeng? Master Zhang Sanfeng. One's that right?" And we see that someone is coming from the front, and it is none other than the Great Master, who is saying, "Finally done. Damn. Brother Jade Emperor really worked me to the bone." And he is getting very happy thinking about Yeon Chungwoon, "Now, my cute disciple." And then he sees that some other man is standing in front of the magic mirror, and he gets very angry on seeing him, and says to him, "What the hell are you doing to my disciples?" And that man gets very scared after seeing the Great Master, but Yeon Chungwoon recognizes the Great Master by hearing his voice, that voice. It's Master Zhang Sanfeng. And the Great Master pushes that man away and says, "Dharma, you Olo man. Aren't you going to move out of the way?" But when Yeon Chungwoon hears the name of that man, he gets very surprised. Maybe he already knows the man of this name, and we are told about Dharma, called Bodhidharma in Sanskrit and known as Borodalma in the Central Plains. He was a legendary martial master more commonly referred to simply as Dharma, the founder who first opened the gates of Shaolin in a small forest on Mount Song. The revered founder of Shaolin, the North Star of Mount Tai. And we see that the Great Master is very angry with Yeon Chungwoon, and is saying to him, "So, what did you learn again?" And Yeon Chungwoon fearfully says something called Earth Essence Technique. And on hearing this, the Great Master gets very angry with the old man, and says to him, "It's supposed to be the Earth Core Divine Technique. You Olo man." Yeon Chungwoon gets shocked on hearing this, and says, "So? You're saying I've learned another martial art? If two techniques share the same root, they can be somewhat harmonized. But now that I've learned the methods of both Wudang and Shaolin, if the two methods were to clash, that would be terrible." And Yeon Chungwoon now gets very disappointed with himself, and says, "In that case, I guess I should stop practicing Earth Essence Technique. No, Earth Core Divine Technique." And the Great Master says, "No, learn it." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "What? Really?" And the Great Master states, "It's annoying, but that old man Dharma has really refined the Earth Core Divine Technique properly. It fills in the gaps you're missing, and it even smooths out the parts that would clash with your existing lucid cultivation technique. If you didn't know, it would be one thing, but now that a better way has been found, you can't just discard it." And Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, "Master Zhang Sanfeng. It seems like his pride is hurt. Well, considering his pride is as high as the heavens, it's understandable. There is someone who has shown his disciple a better path than him. It's no wonder. And yet, despite that, he's willing to endure it and offer me a better path. He values his disciple's growth more than his own pride." And the Great Master looks at Yeon Chungwoon and says, "What's with that expression?" And Yeon Chungwoon says, "I'm just moved, Master." But after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, the Great Master gets even more angry and says, "You get moved by the strangest things. Well, I did feel a bit sorry towards this guy." But the old man does not understand Yeon Chungwoon's words and remains absolutely silent. Yeon Chungwoon says to the old man, "Are you indebted to Master Dharma or something?" And the old man says to Yeon Chungwoon, "It's because the muscles metamorphosis art was incorporated into the lucid cultivation technique that you learned." But the Great Master is getting very angry, and he says, "Indebted? No way. It's just..." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "And muscles metamorphosis art? Are you saying I learned that?" After listening to Yeon Chungwoon, the Great Master says, "Yes. Since I couldn't fully deal with your frail body through Taoist training alone, I mixed in a few elements of muscles metamorphosis art with the lucid cultivation technique and passed it on to you. And Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, isn't that plagiarism? And Yeon Chungwoon says, why the face? Thank you so much. You are truly amazing, master. But is it really okay for me to learn muscles metamorphosis art? And hearing this, the old man becomes very happy, and is thinking, I'm the first master though. But the great master gets even more angry. Yes, your second master, the one who created muscles metamorphosis art, has already granted his permission. And the old man angrily says, however, it's better not to reveal this publicly. Shaolin tends to attract some tough guys. And we see some people saying, what? Muscles metamorphosis art? Where did you learn that? And they have caught Yeon Chungwoon, and Yeon Chungwoon says to the old man, Master Dharma taught. And on hearing this, they start beating Yeon Chungwoon and say, this guy is a lunatic. But Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, honestly, if I heard someone say that, I'd probably get angry and smash their head too. But who cares, right? Following Master Jang Sanfeng, I now have the honor of taking Bodhidharma as my master. Disciple Yeon Chungwoon greets my two masters. It is an immense honor to be the disciple of both of you. Of course it is. Their pride is through the roof, and the great master says, anyway, I will teach you in a way that harmonizes as much as possible with Buddhist martial arts. So, make sure to absorb everything I teach you. And the old man is saying, study hard. I will also do my best to teach you. And Yeon Chungwoon says, that's what I've been hoping for. All the hardships so far are now over. From now on, it's gonna be like a walk in the park. 1 month later. And we see Yeon Chungwoon, who is training, and he is carrying a lot of weight, and he is being told, HH. If you lose focus on your breathing even a little, you'll end up a crippled fool. Very sharp sticks under him, and he is saying, this isn't a walk in the park, and the great master and the old man are telling him, it's walking on hot coals. But Yeon Chungwoon is no longer capable of doing anything, and he falls on the ground, and seeing him hurt, the great master says, did I say you can rest? Hurry, move on to the next. But Yeon Chungwoon is very tired, but he does not lose courage, and listens to the master, and he has to move forward avoiding the stones on the logs, and he moves forward slowly, and he is thinking, if the lucid cultivation technique embraces and nurtures the mind and spirit, then the earth core divine technique trains and strengthens the body like the vastness of the earth that embraces everything. Thanks to that, my body's recovery speed has also increased. My masters have been ensuring that what they give me is just the right amount, not too much, not too little, so they're training me just enough to keep me from dying. I've thought about quitting hundreds of times. But the reason I haven't given up is to prove them wrong. But he gets very tired, and the great master and the old man are saying to him, no time to rest. Keep moving. And Yeon Chungwoon says yes, masters. And then he is thinking about something, and we see another man, who is moving forward, jumping from one tree to another, and stops at one place and says, this is the place, the spot where that guy is training. Then he reaches a place, where some trees are broken and scattered, and there are some arrows stuck in the ground, and he gets very surprised to see this, and says, is this really the place where that bastard is training? Then suddenly Yeon Chungwoon reaches there, and says to him, who are you? The man gets very scared after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, and looks back, and he does not understand anything, and suddenly Yeon Chungwoon attacks him, and he stops dragging on the ground, and he gets up and comes towards Yeon Chungwoon, and removes the mask from his face and says to Yeon Chungwoon, you've improved a lot in that short time, haven't you? Yeon Chungwoon. Back Muho, and Yeon Chungwoon gets very shocked on hearing this, my best friend, the eldest son of the Baek clan, a clan of escorts, and, among the people I know, the most outstanding genius. And the man with the mask says, I was just trying to exchange a quick greeting, but you avoided that. And Yeon Chungwoon says, no, he should be called the craziest bastard. And the man with the mask says, let's see if you can dodge this too, and Yeon Chungwoon agrees, and invites him for a fight, and the masked man attacks with Chaotic Blossom's hand strikes. And Yeon Chungwoon is surprised. Chaotic Blossom's hand strikes is an improvised version of manhua's Plum Blossom's hand strikes. And Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, it is characterized by flashy hand movements. However, in the ever-changing hand movements, the places with the least change are, and Yeon Chungwoon stops that man's attack and throws him under his foot, and says to him, "It's been a while. Is this how you are going to access?" And we see that both of them are walking, and the masked man is saying to Yeon Chungwoon, "If you came back, you should have come to see this, big brother, first." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "A genius like you wouldn't understand. How can I go find you when I was shamefully kicked out?" And after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, the masked man says, "Honestly, you have become incredibly strong." But Yeon Chungwoon does not believe his words. The masked man says, "To think they would kick out someone of his caliber. Wudang Sect must be a thing of the past now." And he is thinking, it's a waste to let his skills rot in this place. Yeon Chungwoon says, "Right? I've got a great idea." And he suddenly disappears from there, and Yeon Chungwoon is very surprised to see this, and when he looks ahead, he is jumping from one tree to another, and Yeon Chungwoon says to him, "Where are you going?" And the masked man says to Yeon Chungwoon, "See you later." But Yeon Chungwoon is a little surprised to see him, and says that somehow, "I don't have a good feeling about this." And the scene shifts, and we are shown a scene a few days later, where Yeon Chungwoon and the masked man are together, and the masked man is speaking to Rajya. "You want me to accompany you?" "Yeah. Instead of staying home, wouldn't it be better to gain practical experience?" And Yeon Chungwoon is thinking something, and says, Practical experience. And the great master says you definitely lack experience." And the old man tells, "I think that's a good idea." Yeon Chungwoon gets ready to leave, and the man with the mask says, "That all right. Let's go together." And the man with the mask says, "I knew you would say that." And they both go inside the Baek clan escort agency. Most of the goods at Shangyang County are traded through the Baek clan escort agency. Even with the ceasefire in place, the world is still chaotic with constant conflict between the orthodox, unorthodox, and demonic forces, to the point that merchants without escorts can't move on their own. As a result, escort agencies in Nirim inevitably have significant influence. Yeon Chungwoon is very surprised to see that place, and says, "This place is as grand as ever." And the masked man says, "Well, that's why it feels like shit whenever we have to clean it." And the great master looks at them from his magic mirror and says, "Cleaning, indeed, is such a shitty job." And the old man says, "Even here, there really is no end to it." And Yeon Chungwoon says to them, "Masters, what on earth are you doing in paradise?" But he gets a little disappointed, and says, "Are they going to ask me to do something strange when I go there?" But seeing this, the masked man gets very surprised, and he is thinking, who is he talking to? And he asks Yeon Chungwoon, "Why are you talking to yourself?" And Yeon Chungwoon says to him, Don't mind me. These days, I've been practicing martial arts alone, so I tend to talk to myself sometimes." And the masked man gets nervous after listening to Yeon Chungwoon, and says to him, How suspicious." And then we are shown a girl who is very beautiful, and everyone gets smitten by her beauty at first sight, and that girl looks at Yeon Chungwoon and says, "You're here, Chungwoon." And Yeon Chungwoon gets very surprised to hear this, and he is thinking, how does she know my name? And the name of that girl is Baek Seola, who is the daughter of Baek clan's eldest. And Yeon Chungwoon says to that girl, "Big sister, it's been a while." And Sunita says to Yeon Chungwoon, "You've changed quite a bit since the last time we saw each other." And Yeon Chungwoon gets very happy after hearing her, and says to her, "Really? Have you been well, big sister?" On hearing this, Sunita gets a little shy, and the masked man says, "You don't know how much I cried every night when you were gone. When I heard that you were coming, I couldn't sleep at night, grandmother." And hearing this, Sunita punches Yutien and says, "Stop joking around," and says to Yeon Chungwoon, "Then, see you later." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "Yes, see you." Yeon Chungwoon looks at Yutien, who has fallen on the ground due to Sunita's punch, and Yeon Chungwoon says to him, "You alright?" And then we see a man, who becomes very happy on seeing Yeon Chungwoon, and says, "Oh, if it isn't Chungwoon. It's been a while." And that man's name is Baek Jin-sung, who is the leader of the Baek clan escort agency. And Yeon Chungwoon greets him, and that man says while rubbing Yeon Chungwoon's back, "How long has it been? Oh, your body has gotten quite toned. I was worried when I first heard that you wanted to go with Muho, but it turned out that my worries were for nothing." And Yeon Chungwoon says to him, "Pardon? I did what?" And he is thinking and says, "This son of a bitch. He just did whatever he wanted." And Yeon Chungwoon sees that some people are staring at him. And Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, no wonder the escorts were looking at me as if they were going to kill me. They definitely consider me an unwelcome guest who joined through connection. And then the leader puts his hand on Yeon Chungwoon's shoulder and says, "That's right. You seem qualified. But that's just my opinion. The opinions of these guys who are with me are important too." And Yeon Chungwoon says, "Who should I prove myself to?" "Well, anyone who is dissatisfied, or all of them." "Of course, but one of them says I don't like him. He looks like someone who has the delusion that anyone can just work at an escort agency. Even I had to go through fierce competition just to barely secure a spot. I can't accept a brat who joins through connection." And the leader says, "Then, who wants to start?" And one of them says to the leader, "Leader, I will go first." And another man is thinking, "But what I dislike the most is the fact that this bastard dared to set his eyes on the young miss." And we see that man is about to fight with Yeon Chungwoon, and says to him, "How dare a brat who couldn't even endure Wudang outer sect's training and ran away covet the young miss? I heard you were kicked out of Wudang's outer sect." And Yeon Chungwoon says to him, "So what?" After listening to Yeon Chungwoon, that man gets very angry and attacks him very strongly. Yeon Chungwoon thinks, his attacks are filled with emotions, he must have quite a bit of animosity toward me. And that man thinks Yeon Chungwoon is very weak and says, "This guy is weaker than Baek Mino, VA, he is serious," and says to Yeon Chungwoon, "How long are you going to keep blocking? Since his attacks are filled with emotions, he's willing to hurt me." And seeing them, Yoon Sihu is thinking, "I had a grudge against Yoon Sihu, so I didn't hesitate when I fought him, but I have nothing against these people." And Yeon Chungwoon is very surprised by his attack, and is thinking, "How much force should I use then?" And seeing them, the leader is thinking, "Even if one has claws that can tear the flesh and bones of others, the faint-hearted cannot wield them. A fight that hurts someone. Thoughts create worries, and worries create hesitation. Eventually, the mind becomes distracted. It's over." And those people get surprised, and are saying, "What the?" As expected, he is shit. What do you expect from someone who joined through connection? What's wrong with him? Yeon Chungwoon says, "What should I do? Are you kidding me?" And we see that the great master is very surprised to see this, and is speaking angrily. "You are on edge because of someone stronger than you, but because of that mere greenhorn? Do you want to die?" And the old man also says, "To cultivate oneself, one must have a right mind. Purify your mind, and your body will move accordingly." And after listening to both of them, Yeon Chungwoon is thinking, masters are right. It's not just the people I see. Just as there are things that don't meet their standards, there are things that are unacceptable to me. Since I am the person who will carry on the strongest martial arts, my poor behavior will reflect badly on those who taught me. I can't tarnish my master's names with my mistakes, even if no one knows that I am their disciple." And we see that Yeon Chungwoon stops the attack of that man, and knocks him down, and everyone gets shocked to see this. "What are you doing? Come! Observe his strength, and transform it. Digging into his openings. Once you catch him, break his momentum and throw him away. Bastard. Good. That's the mindset. Namo. Well, even though Moho often makes a fuss, he wouldn't take just anyone on an escort. Isn't that kid Chungwoon, the one you often gave snacks to when he was younger? It hasn't been long since he became an outer disciple of Wudang, but he's truly amazing. There's the essence of Wudang, but I can see something else in his movements as well. They look strangely familiar. What do you think? What to know about martial arts? With that level of skill, shouldn't we? The escort this time seems pretty good, and it never hurts to gain a reliable comrade anyway. I think of the same. Anyone else who is still dissatisfied? Looks like there one's no one. Then just know that Chungwoon will also be participating in our latest mission. Chungwoon, who did you learn martial arts from? About that, say you learned them from me. They will probably call me crazy, you know? I guess that person told you not to reveal his name carelessly, right? No, he told me to reveal it, but I can't. Your martial arts skills were quite different from those of the Wudang Sect disciples. They are authentic though. I'm curious, but I won't ask any more questions because I am an adult. Are you, father? You've something to say. Son? I surrender. Surrender. Actually, I was worried when I heard that you were going to the Wudang Sect. However, since you had joined them using your grandfather's connection, it wasn't my place to say anything. The current hall leader in charge of the outer sect disciples is a dick. With you know that good-for-nothing bastard Shin Jae-hyun loves to divide people by their classes, and nitpicks based on their backgrounds. Phew, now that you have left Wudang, make a bigger name for yourself. The more famous you are, the more screwed that bastard will be. Escorting day morning. I'm sorry for making this sudden decision. You are old enough. So there's no need to ask permission for everything. Bring plenty of spare money. Good heavens, do you really need to go? It hasn't been long since you returned, though. What are you doing? We're departing. Alright. Did I imagine it? Tell me about the escort mission again. It's a request from Jang In-jeol of the Yungshin Trading Company. You remember that much, right? Yungshin Trading Company Jang In-jeol. Commonly referred to as Sir Jang, he is quite a well-known figure in the local area. Like my grandfather, Jang In-jeol was a government official. Thanks to that, he is said to be well connected in Hubei. What makes him different from my grandfather is that he is a calculative person, even when making connections. Even friendship fades when there are no more benefits he can take advantage of. Jang In-jeol actively utilized his connections and founded a trading company after quitting his official position. The result? A huge success. Several merchants banded together to form a large business, and Yungshin Trading Company was able to grow to the point where it could push out all established places. What's interesting is that, among the people that were pushed out by Yungshin Trading Company, there were quite a few who helped Yungshin Trading Company in its early days. They were stabbed in the back and had their power taken away. Jang In-jeol. He's indeed unlikable. Although he walked a similar path as my grandfather, judging from his personality alone, he is the polar opposite of my grandfather. We will join Milingwoon Escort Agency at the halfway point. Once we deliver the goods there, we are done. That's the part one don't understand. Has it been common for escort agencies to work together? Mobilizing 2 escort agencies means that you can't trust just one. As an escort agency, doesn't it hurt your pride? True, that doesn't usually happen. Honestly, if a request like this had come to us, we would have dismissed it in a heartbeat. However, we were indebted to the Milingwoon Escort Agency in the past. So we are doing this for their sake. To pay off previous debt? The entity carrying out the request is Milingwoon Escort Agency. And the Beck Family Escort Agency is helping as an assistant. Then what are these goods? These? They are fake. What? It's a trick. The fact that they've increased their power so rapidly means that they've turned many places into enemies, right? Among them, the place that Yungshin Trading Company is most wary of is the Wudang Sect. As Yungshin Trading Company grew, it began to encroach on many of Wudang Sect's interests. The Wudang Sect is grinding its teeth at the Yungshin Trading Company, but Jang In-jeol has such great connections that they can't do anything. Well, it is a bit shaken because of the newly appointed official from the Ministry of Personnel. Hubei's new official from the Ministry of Personnel. The Ministry of Personnel is a place in charge of human resources. As someone who values personal connections, Jang In-jeol definitely wants to form a relationship with that person. Could these be bribes? To be precise, they are baits posing as bribes. While the 2 escort agencies are moving to attract attention, the real thing is being moved somewhere else. As expected, I don't like him at all. What the? There's no one this is. Killing intent? There's nothing here, so what should I be on guard for? And no. You're lucky. This bastard. It's not a coincidence. This bastard is reading my movements. 2 of them. Strength observation senses scrape information from the opponent. Their footsteps, movements, even their breathing. It leads, from Wudang to Shaolin they chickened out. Those whose spirits are broken aren't worthy opponents. How immature. Master? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden? Look broadly and observe deeply. Do not create blind spots in your thoughts and outlook. Does that mean I have a narrow outlook? What did I miss? The cargo is being threatened. Don't push too far ahead. The formation will collapse. Damn. I was too arrogant. The top priority of an escort mission is the protection of the cargo, but I was too focused on the fight. Does this bastard have eyes on the back of his head? Don't chicken out. Now that his stance is broken, it's our chance. The softness of Wudang. The explosiveness of Shaolin. Hey! That's not how you use a blade. Say what? The Manhua escort agency didn't take this job for nothing. We've taken on quite a troublesome task. Should we give up now? We can't. We owe a debt to the Manhua escort agency. By the way, did you see it too? Are you talking about Chungwoon? Both the escort agency leader and Dot seem pretty interested in Chungwoon's martial arts. Of course. It's quite interesting. Even though it's understandable that a kid expelled from Wudang can still execute sophisticated Wudang techniques, how is he using Shaolin techniques? Could it be, it's mostly settled? Bind the ones who are still alive, and quickly rejoin the Manhua escort agency. Yes. Ho, still, you managed to wrap it up without major losses. Damn. Shit, Chungwoon, brace yourself. What? What is going on here? These bastards. They've slashed up everything inside the stomach with their blades. Master, these kinds of things must have happened often during your era as well, right? Countless times. It was a gruesome period. There's a big difference between knowing something in your head and experiencing it firsthand. Now that I've been out in the world, I know how terrifying the Murim is. If not for the lucid cultivation technique, I wouldn't have been able to control my trembling heart. Bring those bastards we captured. I won't ask complicated questions. What you know, you better tell us everything. Please spare us, we'll tell you everything. First of all, if you can't answer the question, you're of no use. Listen carefully. I'll spare exactly one person, the one who gives me the most useful information. So, a spy was planted in Yunxin Trading Company? Yes. That's exactly what I said. Something strange. If there was a spy, they would have known that this escort operation was a feint, right? They would have known that Manhua and Beck family were bait, yet you attacked anyway. Their goal isn't just to kill. They must be looking for something. Is it a trick within a trick? HM? A trick within a trick? Search the cargo in our carriage. Assume there's something small enough to fit inside a person's stomach. Search thoroughly. We found it. It's the finest white jade. Jang Injeol, that son of a H, he used Manhua escort agency as the decoy. The real item was hidden in our cargo. What should we do? Since there was deception in the contract, we could terminate it and stop the escort right now, and Yunxin Trading Company wouldn't be able to say a thing. Chungwoon, what do you think? Are they hesitating to break the contract because of their debt to Manhua escort agency? Uncle Baek Jin-sung isn't someone who'd owe a financial debt. The debt he owes to Manhua escort agency is tied to a personal grudge. Now that Manhua escort agency has been attacked, we're no longer just third parties. You're saying you owe a debt to Manhua escort agency? That's right. Then let's continue. They'll come find us anyway, so there's no need to look for them. Li Mi, how powerful! You'll make a fine warrior. You all heard that. We're continuing the escort. Yes. Let's show these damned bastards who they dare to mess with. Continue the escort. Yes. Did I provoke them for no reason? It feels like it's my fault. It is your fault, you idiot. You're quite a force to be reckoned with, Leader Beck. Hanwoo Sect's vice leader Hong Munduk. So, it was the Hanwoo Sect who caused this. Where else could it have come from? We don't want to clash with you either, Leader Beck. Beck Escort Agency is not the same as Manhua Escort Agency, after all. There's no need for either of us to shed blood, don't you agree? So just the goods. Unfortunately, I'm someone who believes in settling scores fair and square, and it seems like some blood has to be spilled today. Wipe them out. I'll take care of this. Where are you going? Get lost. Even though I deflected it, this much force, stop getting on my nerves, brat. Block it if you can. Don't block, dodge it. Masters? TCH. Donkey roll, huh? You're really pulling all kinds of tricks. Do you have no pride? If I hadn't listened to the masters and dodged, my body would have been shattered, you little fly. Thanks to his arrogance, his attacks have become simpler. Not bad for a kid. That really woke me up. Damn it, I kicked with enough force to break his neck. Do I even have a chance against him? Shameless bastard. You've only been learning martial arts for less than a year, yet you're trying to take the easy way out. Judging by your opponent's age, he must have trained for at least 20 years. Well, it's not like there's no way. But you'll be bettered in for a few days. Please teach me. It's incredibly cheap compared to the price I might pay in this situation. Very well then. Draw out the essence of the lucid cultivation technique. I'll try, master. Trying is not enough. If you don't succeed, you'll die here. Bastard. What are you muttering in the middle of a fight? From now on, I will impart to you the essence of Earth Core Divine Technique. Didn't I already receive it? The foundation of Earth Essence Technique is Earth Core Divine Technique, but I only borrowed parts of it to fill in your deficiencies. The two techniques are different. It'll be difficult, but you don't need to understand it right now. Alright then. Feel it. Even in this clear state of mind, it is hard to endure. Had I not used lucid cultivation technique, I would have passed out by now. I can feel it. The overwhelming power feels like it's breaking down the boundary between my bones and muscles. It's filling my entire body. Shedding the shell of Earth Essence Technique, Earth Core Divine Technique reveals its true form. It has emerged. What the hell are you muttering to yourself, you little fly? I won't dodge anymore. I think I can handle it. Instead, crash into him. Break him apart. Is this the true power of Earth Core Divine Technique? It's truly divine. Why is this happening all of a sudden? I told you that you'd be bettered in for a few days. Since I forced the Earth Core Divine Technique into you, the side effects are kicking in now.